Hello everyone, welcome to uh, module Devops with ChatGPT. In this module, we will be learning how to speed up our Devops life process with the help of ChatGPT. Okay, so here we have a first slide. So we will use ChatGPT as a DevOps copilot, not as a magic YAML printer. So first we will create a Docker file for a Spring Boot application. Then we will create GitHub Action pipeline file as we will be using GitHub Action as a CI tool. And then we will create Kubernetes manifest and help skeleton. We will also use create some bash script for automation. And then finally we will deploy our Spring Boot containerized Spring Boot application to the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so basic rule is that ChatGPT help us generate draft and I will apply engineering judgment over it. So here is a basic workflow. Like this is a code block, then I will dockerize this code block into containers. Then CI pipeline will be triggered. Then images, Docker containerize images will be stored into the registry, and then finally those images will be finally deployed on the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, here we have got a first prompt. Yeah, it will provide us a context of prompt. Maybe the next slide we will have a first prompt, hopefully. Okay, so goal is to show how to ask, not what to ask. So first we provide context, tech stack, environment constraint, and we will be explicit about target platform like Linux, container runtime, Kubernetes version, and hard requirement is like non-root user multi-stage. This is basically part of the Docker file. Okay, and role is that you are a senior DevOps engineer. So here we have got a first prompt. So I just have to configure ChatGPT a bit. Uh, yeah, you are DevOps engineer. This is a tech stack. I want to containerize this app, deploy it. Okay. So this will be a generic template. So I just entered it. I have to do some little bit modification. This is square we do not need. So you are a senior DevOps engineer. Tech stack is Java 21, Spring Boot 3, Maven, Postgres running on Linux. I want to containerize this app and deploy it to Kubernetes cluster. First, ask me 5 to 7 clarification questions. Image size, I want it to be as small as possible. Security, yes, I want to have I want to practice security principles. I want to limit resources and registry. I would like to set it up as container GitHub container registry. And yeah. Okay, so I got a response from ChatGPT. Since I'm not supposed to ask follow-up questions, I will state the assumption I would normally clarify and then give you high-level sensitive flow. You can plug in GitHub Action or GitLab or Jenkins. Okay. So yeah, you are using something mainstream GitHub Action with Docker available. You can or have create registry. So we will be using GHCR GitHub Container Registry environment, at least dev and prompt, namespace in one cluster. You care about small secure images, multi-stage build. Yes, Postgres as RDS or Cloud SQL or stateful set in Kubernetes, apt-get db creates via Kubernetes secret. You're okay with Helm or customize for environment setting. Security resources, you want basic resource request limit readiness live and properly. Mhm. So here we have a CI pipeline, build, test, quality gate. So first we check out and set up Java version. So it's 21. Then we compile and test. So this verify will perform unit test and integration test. Okay, if something fail, then we have to fix it. Okay, we can also add some plugins like check style. Then we package artifact into target app.jar. Okay, then build container images. First, this will be built. So it will package the jar file. Okay, and the jar file will run as application with the root. I think with non-root. Yeah, with non-root user. Okay. Then we tag the Docker container image, and finally we'll push that image into the main branch. Okay. We can also consider using Trivi as a image scanner in the CI and fail. Yeah, if fail, then built on high critical CVs. And outcome of these tested artifact container image in registry, optional security scanned, and version and tag metadata ready for deployment. And then we have a CD strategy, continuous deployment. Okay, so we have hold resource Dockerfile, Helm chart, customize overlay, CI pipeline, push image, and then update image tag in config repo. Then Argo CD watch config repo and sync to the cluster. In dev namespace, automatically prod sync gated by manual approval, Argo CD UI, audit trail in Git for every deployment, clean separation between code and ops. Direct CD from CI. That can be done with kubectl or helm. Okay, so run the job, and then we deploy step using this script. Helm upgrade, install namespace, image repository, image tag. For production run version, then we have a Kubernetes basics for the app. We set up replica 2 to 3 replica enough for this application. Then we have a readiness. I explain you all these things in the later slides. Okay, then we have a service as a cluster IP for internal access. Then we expose it via ingress. Okay, then we have a config maps for non-sensitive data and secret for like database URL, username tokens, API keys. Then we have a Postgres. Okay. And finally, we have a promotion flow between environment, clean promotion model, developer flow, feature branch, pull request, continuous integration, but not deployed. Okay. Dev environment merge to main trigger image push auto deployment to dev. When main is a stable tag release 1.0.0 CD pipeline releases to prod after approval. Deploy previous tag. I prefer GitHub Action and CI tool and help GitOps. I gave this a small prompt, and let's see. Hopefully, you'll get the answer. However, we did not generate Docker file for the Spring Boot application, I think. And if it happens that we have to create prompt, write prompt to generate a Docker file, so we can uh, paste our Docker file here, and then we can refer that Docker file here. I think it would be very similar that we can uncomment this thing. Then we don't need to separately start our our Spring Boot application. So once we uh, trigger Docker compose up, then the application will be automatically started. And in case we want to stop our application, then we normally it is docker compose down command. So let's see. And yeah, docker file. It is supposed to made this script, but I couldn't see it. So that's why I mentioned like, yeah, Docker file is getting created. Okay. Without it, we cannot push our Docker image to the registry, container registry. Okay, so this is like, this is a first uh, prompt for it. Okay. Okay, so let's let it generate and then, okay. So our Docker file is created. First is we have two repo. Okay, nice. That combo GitHub action help GitOps is exactly what I would pick too. I will set up this as GHCR plus Argo CD as default. You can swap pieces if needed. Build test Maven. Build. Okay. Build test with Maven. Build push Docker images to GHCR. Update config infra repo with new image tag. This will be the first part of app repo. Second part will be infra repo contain Helm chart. In Helm chart, we will have values hyphen dev.yml and values hyphen prod.yml. Watch by Argo CD. If anything changes, then change will be reflected to the main YAML file. Okay. So here we have a Docker file. Okay. Then we have a CI/CD file. Okay. And then we have a directory layout. So yeah, it's not too less, it's like too much. And we have to test everything. Mhm. But yeah, you can see that I am not a DevOps engineer. Like I have very basic knowledge of DevOps. But see, with the help of this ChatGPT tool, I can play a pretty good role of a DevOps engineer. That's the advantage of using ChatGPT. Mm. Yes, I have to verify this Docker file also. Maybe it's possible some error could happen. So That's why it's important to verify it. It's taking too much time actually. Around 3 minutes, more than 3 minutes. It's a multi-stage build. Maybe first time I'm building this file, it might take extra time. But yeah, there's a problem here. Okay, so I think issue could be these three words, which I also don't know what does it mean. Okay, so okay, so let's build this Docker file again. Okay, okay, it is not able to find MVN. Okay, that's a problem. So I have to change this dependency. I have also had a similar issue before. So let's find. Maybe I will find this solution to this problem. I'm not able to see compose file. So yeah, this is a Docker compose file. No, I must need Docker file, not Docker compose file. Sorry. Yes, this is what I needed actually. Then hopefully our problem will be solved. This is I don't need as of now. I can just comment it out and let's try again. And hopefully I'll not get same problem because uh, yeah, hopefully it will work. Oh, sorry what I'm opening. Sorry for that. Okay, so now I got issue in line number 29. Let's see what is the problem. Instead of writing here, I think it's better to create another prompt, another chat. Yeah. Yeah, I was also thinking to run it like this. So don't want to create a new user. Okay, I want to use the existing user, but okay, because it will be easy. Okay, now I am able to build it successfully. So what I do, I try to stop this Spring Boot application and let's run Docker Compose. Okay. Normally we have a very good command, I think. Startup Australia. So I would use this command. And what's the name of it? sh. New file. Sorry, startup.sh. Okay. So I copy this path. Uh, Git bash. It doesn't accept single gap, single this thing. So I have to make it like this. Okay, so I have to do it in opposite way. I just forgot it. Okay, so and the message. Let's see what happens. Okay, is our container started? You can see in the okay. This is also running and the app is also running. Let's see what is happening inside the app. Oh, it is working. It seems like it is working. Let's see. I created a controller. Maybe I need some special. Okay, so what is happening here? Container is running anyway. Okay, Docker started it. That issue I have to fix now because uh, here it is showing 8080 and mhm. Server code. Yes, this is what I wanted. Okay, okay. Now I so first all running containers will be stopped, and then all containers will be started using this simple script. I did not configure any swagger. Let's see what it shows here. 8082. So it is supposed to work at 8082. Something is like not working well. Maybe it is working inside the Docker, so I have to expose it. Hmm. So Docker work is working, but yeah, it is not working from outside. So let's see what is wrong with it. Okay, there is no network. That's the reason. Okay. Yeah, there is no network. That's the main reason why it is still not working well. Okay, not CV analyzer, but book service, book SVC network. Okay, and then what we have to do? Anyway, I do not need volume as of now, but somehow I set it. So let's rerun this application again. I just forgot to add volume and add network. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what suggestion I get from ChatGPT. Now I'm analyzing Docker compose file. What is wrong? I think that this could be an issue network, but it seems like it is still not working. Yeah, let's see logs because this could give me a better idea. So Docker, I see the container ID. Okay, Docker logs F. Okay, okay. So this is the reason I think. Okay, so it is suggesting that I must start application on 8081. Okay, so I restarted. Now I have to restart application. Let's see what happens. Ah, it is working. Okay, now it is working. This time suggestion was also wrong, but somehow wrong suggestion made it work. This is not a correct suggestion. It must. Ah, wait. Ah, okay. It's not a wrong suggestion. Sorry. Server port 1, it get mapped to the 8082. Okay, and now I do one thing. It is empty. Hmm. And yeah, for that I have to set up Swagger and other stuff, or maybe Flyway integration. But that's not important. That's not the requirement at the moment. Okay, so yeah, Docker work is done. Okay, and yes, the Docker task is done. Docker file work is done. Okay, and now we have to generate other manifest, other workflow file, Kubernetes helm chart in the upcoming section, upcoming videos. Okay, so yeah, so which stage I was using? Let's see the Docker file first of all. I was using Maven 3.99. Let's remove if I'm not using something. I'll remove it. Okay. And I'm also not using, somehow it is used by, it is already used. So this is quite acceptable Docker file. Okay. It's a multi-stage Docker file. First stage is this. The second stage is this. Okay. In this stage, it is generating a package, Maven package, somewhere in the target folder. Now it is, I'm not able to see it, but that will generate a jar file, and that jar file will be used. Like suppose clean package, and yeah, if I execute this command, there will be a jar file generated inside the target folder. Okay, and yes, this is a jar file that we need to run the Spring Boot application inside the container. Okay, so if you don't have a jar file, then certainly our Docker will be failed. Okay, so Docker stuff is done. Okay, we are happy that we can see some result also. Now our task will be to look for uh, GitHub action file and Kubernetes manifest file and help chart. Okay, so first Maven 3.9, yes, this is done. Is it 3.9 terminal in 21? Yes, exactly 3.99 Eclipse. Temori in 21. Okay, then copy jar file. Use docker ignore, it is very important. Short and clean. Use as non-root that I'm using it. Health checkup, I was not using health checkup, or at least mention it. So, okay, so we will go for the slide. I will add health checkup. Okay, it is possible that I will add health checkup. I think let's add it because it's good. Because if your Spring Boot application, if you want to see your Spring Boot application working, then database must be ready. And data, if database is not ready, then yes. So it is a good idea to introduce health check. And okay, so I don't know I configured actuator or not, but let's see. Yeah, something is configured, but I don't think I enabled actuator here. So what I would do, I would, what should I do? I restart the application. See, I will explain you about this health check. So this health check will be executed in the following way. First, this command will be executed on some CMD shell, and If it didn't get any response within 5 seconds, then this will fail. And if it failed, then this complete container will fail. I'm not supposed to use it here actually. I'm supposed to use this thing. Now I have to think about it a little bit. Yes, in app. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm also thinking I did not enable actuator, so I will not use this thing. So it will run every 30 seconds. And if it doesn't get any response within 5 seconds, for three times, like three times it will repeat. And if it didn't get any response, then this container will fail. Okay, so let's test it. Now I don't have to run any special command, docker compose down or up. Everything will be taken care of by this bash script. So that's a small advantage of using scripting. Hmm. So let's see. So working fine. Now I don't even have to test it because that is working. That is already working. Okay. The test is also happening here. So this is another advantage of using health check. Okay. So yeah, health check is done. User non docker.ignore. I don't think I added docker.ignore here. So let's add. That is introduce docker ignore. Okay, docker ignore. I set it up and health check user. Yeah. Hmm. So I checked everything. Like I have Maven, this thing. Yes. In a stage two, what I'm using? Dockerfile. In first Eclipse Taborin 21. Okay, Eclipse Taborin 21 exactly that's what I'm using for copying jar file and running a jar Java application inside Docker. So how we can shorten it? We introduce Docker ignore. However, it is empty. Later we will fill it up. Okay. Now we have user with non-root. Yeah, checking doing health check. Okay. And then Docker build and run to prove it works. Okay, that we are doing it. So when we run Docker compose, we run multiple containers and so Docker build and Docker run will automatically work. Yes, it is working. Okay, we have seen it here. Okay, okay, so the database is working, app is also working. And if you want to go deeper into containerizing, Spring Boot, and image optimization, that's exactly what we do step by step in our Docker and CI/CD course. So this is the first slide of our course, and it's almost done. And now we will move to the next slide. So thank you very much for watching this slide, and let's move to the next slide.